Hi girlies! Welcome back to the channel. I feel like it's been such a long time since I did a proper sit down video. I feel like I've just been having really jam-packed weekends, and so to make any content I kind of just bring you guys along vlog style, so I haven't really sat down to film in a while, so this feels a little bit weird, but I have a super duper special sit down video to share with you guys today, and it is because I just made and placed my special order at Hermes. I'm going to try to give you guys as much detail as possible about what the colors were, how I kind of finalized the choices that I made for my bag, and kind of what even happened for me to get to this point. But before we do, hi, I'm Somidoshoppers. I make videos once a week on luxury and fashion. I love taking you guys along, sharing my life in SF with everyone, and sharing these little itty bitty purchases that I make along the way, and just kind of gabbing girl talk, you know, all those good things luxury. So if that is something that's interesting to you, I would love if you subscribe so you do not miss out. Okay, this is going to be a little bit of an unstructured video because I just got back and I just wanted to really quickly sit down and film, so I did not forget about any details, but I will start at the beginning, I guess. So I have been shopping at my local boutique for about 8 months now, I think. I started shopping pretty much in July of 2023. I think the major reason why I was able to do an SO for this season was because I have a really great relationship with my SA. Of course, there are some big ticket purchase items that came along with it. For example, I did buy an expensive watch that retails for about $25,000. And so there's things along the way that kind of help me, obviously, in that aspect. But I do believe that when it comes down to it, it's probably because my SA and I just have a really great relationship. I know that there was only one SA to give out, and he did thankfully give it to me, so I am really grateful for the opportunity. To briefly summarize my Hermes journey, I would have to say that probably all in all, including every single bag that I've bought from there, my total spend might be around $80,000 or somewhere a little bit around that ballpark range. I'm not totally sure. Including that does come with 2 Birkins, a Picotin, and a mini Evelyn, as well as some other small leather goods. So that is totally inclusive of everything that I have spent at Hermes. I think I do really want to emphasize that it's really not always about the pre-spend or the amount of money that you spend at your local boutique. I think it's really more about showing your love for the brand and genuine interest in the brand. I only ever buy things that I love, only things that are in my size, only things that I've tried on multiple times and thought about. I rarely have things on my wish list because I really think about things hard, and I only really buy when I can actually see it in store in person. So I think because of that as well, my SA sees that and he understands that I really do love everything that Hermes has to offer, and I've bought through various categories, and I haven't, you know, overspent in any particular one category, I think. And so I think that kind of generalized spending and spreading it out is also very important if you are considering trying to get an SO. But again, my journey is unique to me. It's not going to really be applicable to anybody else. And so please keep that in mind when you look through my Hermes playlist. I'll link it up above, or if you're just listening to what I'm saying now, you shouldn't try to use my journey as kind of like a roadmap for yours. Okay, but let's now get into the story time of how my SA let me know that I have a special order waiting for me. So up until this point, he had told me a couple times that he did want to give me an SO, but every time it was also kind of under the pretext that it was like, well, I don't know how many offers that I'm going to be able to give out. It would be great if I could give one out to you if I had enough. It was always kind of ambiguous. Like, he had definitely mentioned that he did want to give it to me, but obviously until I actually am in the room making the special order, I was not going to believe that I was guaranteed a special order in any way. And so even leading up to this point, I was very kind of feeling unsure about whether or not I was even gonna get it. We have a really joking banter between us, so even if I brought it up, he would say one thing and I didn't know if it was serious or if it was a joke or not, honestly. But he did text me and call me last Tuesday, which was February 20th, that I was eligible and I was going to be given the opportunity to place a special order for this season. Now, of course, as soon as I got the news, I immediately went to Purse Forum to look to see if anybody had leaked this season's colors. Last season's colors were really cute, really good. They had like rose sakura, they also had mauve pale, and they had some really pretty kind of pastel colors as well, and a lot of neutrals. But this year, someone did post a picture of the colors and their corresponding leathers and also the interior linings, but they were quite disappointing in my opinion. I will post a picture here on the screen, but there were no pinks, no pastels, very few neutrals, honestly, that you could kind of pair together within a specific leather type. And so I was actually so sad because I had originally really wanted to do a Cream Mini Kelly Verso with like mauve pale on the interior. I thought that would have been so cute, or even some other kind of combination, some other neutral like a gris pearl would have been lovely. But unfortunately the color list was really limited and they were very dark colors. So I think maybe it would have appealed to, I don't know, maybe an older audience or somebody who likes or is attracted to dark colors. I personally like really light colors and pastel colors and light blues and like pinks and even like light yellows or light greens. Anything pastel, like I'm there for. So when I first saw the colors, I was a little sad, but not to fear. I am a neutral girly at heart, so honestly they still had all the neutrals. They had blacks, they had whites, they had like a taupe, you know, Gris Meyer. So I knew that I was still going to be able to make a bag that I was going to be happy with. And so my essay did try to give me a couple heads up, being like, okay, I know there's no pinks. And then he also was like, I just don't know if you're gonna like the colors, because he knows that I love those light colors, those cute colors. So he did ask me if I wanted to wait for a different season that did have better colors, since there's typically 1 to 2 seasons per year where you can make a special order. But I thought about it and I was like, you know, you never know when this special order opportunity is going to come, so you should never pass by. Even if you think, oh, there might be better colors in the future, like throw that thought out of your brain, take what is given to you and count your blessings, because this is honestly probably going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity. So if you are given the opportunity to make a special order, you need to be specifically told that you're allowed to do a croc special order, or else that leather is completely off the table. And I am pretty sure that to be able to qualify for like a croc special order, or you know, gator special order, you are going to be a VVVVVIP, so that's definitely not me. So the leather combinations and choices that were available to me were Epsom, Chef Mysore, and also ostrich. So ostrich is not really considered like an exotic or endangered exotic leather. So those were the 3 options that were available to me, and I personally didn't like any of the colored options really. So there were dark blues, there were dark browns, there were dark reds, there were dark greens, and so I thought it was best to stick to what's comfortable for me and just stick with the neutral. So the colors that I kind of had available to me, for example, in the Epsom leather, there was cray, there was biscuit, there was Green Meyer, there was noir, there was gold, so those were kind of the safe colors. And then in Chef Mysore there was nata, there was etoupe, there was also noir, there was some really dark like blue sapphire was also beautiful. And then in ostrich, I think the 2 colors that kind of stood out to me were Gris Tortorelle as well as Blue Glacier. So I had kind of these combinations in my mind. So those were kind of the colors that I was interested in. And the next thing to think about is obviously what style of bag do you even want. So I believe that this kind of special order is also called a Horizons event. So you are actually allowed to create any bag that you would like. It doesn't have to be a quota bag. You could literally pick whatever bag you would like. Of course, for me, I definitely wanted to choose a bag that was going to be really difficult to get otherwise. And so I ultimately settled on the Mini Kelly, but I know that other really popular choices are like the Kelly Pochette, or one of the smaller Kelly or Birkins, or even like Birkin Celliers or something like that. So there's unlimited choices really for you to pick which bag style you'd like, but I know that getting a Mini Kelly as just a regular offer in store is really difficult, so I definitely wanted to use my special order and pick the Mini Kelly. The next choice at hand was then kind of like the color combination that you would like to display on your bag. So there's 3 types of kind of bags within the Mini Kelly style that you can choose from. So because the Mini Kelly is a Cellier style, the first option that you can choose is called the line style. So what that is that the exterior and the interior bag are just one color. It's the color of your choice, but you can choose a different exterior stitch lining if you'd like. Typically, if you choose a line style bag, it's going to look very similar to just any other bag offer that you'd get in that color, and it's going to be very hard to tell that it's a special order or like a horseshoe stamp bag. It's just going to look very regular. The next option for bag is called a Verso. So what that is that you can choose the exterior color of your special order bag, and you can also choose a separate interior color of your bag. And then of course there's other customization options that you can choose, but that is kind of the color scheme of a Verso bag. So for example, I was heavily considering whether I wanted to do cray on the outside, so cray Epsom on the outside, and then the interior would be blue sapphire. So I think it's really fun when you kind of open your bag. It looks very kind of maybe unassuming from the outside, very neutral and quiet, but when you open up the bag, it's just a little pop of color, and I think that's really pretty, and it's definitely kind of for the more low-key girlies, and that's definitely a style that I was considering coloring. And then the third style, which I think is really popular to do for special orders, is called Multico. So it's called multicolor. And essentially what that is that you can pick two colors to display on the exterior of your bag. So the front panel, the bottom panel, the back panel, and the flap of the bag is all going to be one color. And then the second color will be displayed on the side panels, the sangles, and the handle and strap of the bag. So this is really popular to do for an SO because this is very clearly a special order bag. There are sometimes tri-color bags that come into the store that can be offered just regularly to a client, but Multico bags are definitely very indicative of a special order. So people do like to choose that bag just because it's very clear that that's what it is. It's a special order. There are other customization options for you to choose from. So you can choose the stitching color. So there are 3 options for stitching color. You can do tone on tone. So the tone on tone stitching, that means that the color of the exterior stitch on the bag is going to match the color of the leather that it's stitched onto. So for example, if you have a cray bag, the tone on tone stitch would be a white stitch. If you had a noir bag, the tone on tone stitch would then be a noir stitch. And then in terms of the Multico bag, what that means is that there will be 2 tones of stitch on your bag. So if you chose tone on tone for a Multico bag, for example, if I chose cray for the front panel, then there would be cray stitching or white stitching along the front panel. But if my sides and sangles were a different color, let's say it was noir, then the stitch would match the noir on just those parts of the bag. So it's going to just look like very seamless. You can choose inverted stitching as well. So inverted stitching kind of applies more to the Multico bag and the Verso bag, and that means that the tone of the stitch on the leather is going to kind of be opposite of what you would expect it to be. So for example, my Multico bag, if I chose, again, going back to cray and noir, on the cray panels of the bag, there would be a noir stitch, and then on the noir panels of the bag, there would be a cray stitch. So it's very easy to see the actual stitching on the bag if you choose inverted. Alternatively, for the Verso bag, if you choose an inverted stitch, the color of the exterior stitch is then going to match the interior color of your bag. So for example, if I chose a cray Verso bag that had blue sapphire on the inside, then my inverted stitch would show blue sapphire stitching on the exterior of my bag on the cray leather. There's 3 additional things that we can continue to customize for particularly the mini Kelly. The next one is hardware color. So I actually was very surprised when I reached this step because I thought that every single available hardware was going to be available to every single style of bag, but actually hardware color is also very specific to the bag style. So for the mini Kelly, there were only 3 hardware options that were available. Palladium hardware was available, gold hardware was available, and then permabrass hardware was available. However, if you go over to, for example, a Birkin 25, then so many options of hardware opens up. You can have rose gold hardware, you can have brush gold, brush silver hardware, you can pretty much have any color of hardware on a Birkin 25, but for the Kellys, for example, rose gold hardware is just not an option for any of them. And then going to the mini Kelly, that further even decreases the possible combinations of hardware because there were only 3 options of hardwares that I can choose from, which was palladium, gold, and permabrass. The next customization option was strap length. So I believe the mini Kellys, if you buy it direct from store, that's just a regular offer, those straps are quite short. It's difficult to wear them crossbody, and I believe that they are 85 centimeters. However, since this is a special order, you are able to customize the length of your strap from 4 possible options. So I believe it was 75 centimeters, 85 centimeters, 105 centimeters, and then 120 centimeters were the options to choose from. I know that 85 centimeters is way too short and I would like to wear my Kelly as a crossbody, so I do believe that the 105 centimeter is probably the best option. My essay did say the 120 might just be a little long, so I did end up choosing the 105, and I think it will sit very comfortably on my hip. And then the last customization option is in terms of embossing. You can choose kind of an embossment to put on the bag. I think you could put it on various parts of the bag, like sangles, the flap. If you have a clochette, you can do it on the clochette. But I had heard that if you do an embossing, it can actually delay your special order a little bit, so I did not choose to put any kind of embossment on my bag, and my essay did inform me that my boutique can emboss it for me later if I wish to do so. So let's get into the actual making of the bag. So what's really great about this year is that they have actually digitalized a lot of the SO process. So what that means is that before this year, a lot of it was like done on paper, so they would kind of give you a list of the colors available, they'd bring out the swatches box, of course, but then you would kind of like physically write down your specs of the bag, and then you would you know, submit it to Paris, but it was very kind of ambiguous. But this year they actually have an iPad system where you can actually see the mock-up of your bag real time as you're kind of customizing different things like the stitching, you know, Multico, different types of leathers and everything, and it's really, really fast. So that was really exciting because I feel like sometimes a bag doesn't come out very well, like previous special orders that I've seen, because you can't really imagine what exactly two leathers are going to look like next to each other, but this time you could, and so that was really great and really, really helpful. Basically, I went into my appointment, we brought out the big leather swatches. My SA had kind of pulled out the swatches that were going to be available for this SO season. Of course, the box has much, like way more options. They have so many different colors, but not all the colors are available for an SO, so he did pull out the ones that kind of were available for me to look at. And then I went to work, you know, I got on the iPad and I was going through every single combination possible, even going through combinations I would never pick, just to see kind of what they would look like, looking at different bag styles, because obviously this is going to be a opportunity that's not going to come very easily again, and so I just wanted to really savor it. We had champagne while we were doing it, and it was just a really fun experience. I had brought Matthew, so it was me, Matthew, my SA, and we were just laughing. We were getting all the opinions on what bag would be best for me. And so I will tell you kind of the process of how I was thinking it. So first I did look at kind of ostrich leather mini Kelly. So I knew I was going to do a mini Kelly, so I spent most of my time in that kind of customization realm. And so while I was looking at the ostrich, Matthew hates ostrich. He thinks it looks like chicken skin, and I particularly wasn't a fan of the ostrich colors this year. I think that, I don't know, I'm just very unsure of if I'd even like ostrich, and it's obviously a very expensive bag. So I kind of was like, okay, maybe my first, you know, exotic bag or exotic leather even, I should try a smaller item first and to see if I even like it. And I think it would be much safer, and I'd be willing to wear this mini Kelly a lot more if it was just in a more durable and regular leather. And so then I kind of shifted my attention to Epsom leather and Chev leather. So in terms of Epsom, I did have a combination that I really liked, or maybe I had kind of two. So I kind of already mentioned the first one. I thought that doing a cream mini Kelly with palladium hardware with blue sapphire on the inside as a Verso bag would be really stunning. I think Cray is probably my favorite white neutral, or kind of off-white neutral. So I did originally really want to do a Cray bag, and I was honestly really taken aback when I had found out that rose gold hardware wasn't available for a mini Kelly, because I was really, really set on doing rose gold hardware. So unfortunately that was out, and so I was like, okay, Cray with palladium, that's also fine. Blue sapphire on the inside, great pop of color. And then I was also looking at the Cray Multico with green Meyer with palladium hardware as well. I think just having those two neutrals on the exterior, and again, having a Multico bag is really special for a special order. It's very clear that it's a special order bag, and so that was also another possibility. I also then looked at kind of Chev options, and there are two really pretty colors that Chev was offered in this year, and it is Nata Any Tube. So I thought the Nata Any Tube Multico for the mini Kelly was absolutely stunning. I was having a hard time deciding whether permabrass hardware or palladium hardware was better. I kind of ruled out gold hardware because Nata pulls a lot of yellow because it's quite creamy, so I thought the gold was looking a little too yellow against the bag. Permabrass is more of a champagne gold hardware. It's a very special hardware because it's pretty hard to find in just like a regular offer. And then there was also the option of palladium hardware, with Matthew really likes. He thought that it was kind of just nice to have like a change up of hardware because all my Hermes bags have gold hardware. So we were kind of going back and forth which one was going to be better, but then I did think, like in my heart of hearts, I am a gold girly, and so I did think that the permabrass hardware did suit the Nata Any Tube better. So I was kind of running through these three possible combinations for quite a bit of time. So I was looking at the Cray Verso with blue sapphire on the inside with palladium hardware, or possibly the Cray Green Meyer Multico bag in Epsom, and then also the Chev Nata and E-Tube Multico bag with permabrass hardware. So those are the three kind of combinations, and so to kind of help me, we had brought all the swatches out. I was putting the swatches next to each other. I was putting the hardware samples on top of the swatches, kind of going outside, looking at them in different types of lighting, because once you submit the order, nothing can be changed. There can be no regrets. The bag is going to come as is, pretty much. So I really wanted to fully think out the bag. And I think out of the three options, the bag that is really most me was the Nata and E-Tube. I feel like it's really soft girl vibes. It's such a neutral color, and I absolutely love champagne gold hardware because I feel like it's a really happy medium in between silver, or kind of like white gold, and rose gold and yellow gold. It's just kind of like a very transitional metal, so it's really easy to match with whatever you're wearing that day. And then also having that two-tone, in addition to it being a very special SO combination, is that it's going to be easy to match with a light outfit, a dark outfit. It's just going to be a really easy bag that I can literally probably wear with anything. Those colors are not going to clash with anything. And I think, again, also the shove leather was also quite special. I think it's pretty difficult to also get an offer for a fully shove leather bag. They're just not as common as Epsom bags. And I do think that after, you know, my special order and whatnot, I think getting a cray or gris pearl like Kelly 25 and Epsom wouldn't be that difficult. And so in my mind, I think that you should try to make one of the most unique bags for your special order. And so I chose the most unique combination out of all the three that I was choosing from, which was shove leather in Nata and a tube, a Multico bag. I chose permabrass hardware. I chose the 105 centimeter strap. I chose tonal stitching, so tone on tone stitching, and then no embossing. And that is that. Once you make your bag on the iPad, you literally press submit and then like the bag is off. You get kind of like an order number or something with your bag. You get like the date, and then it shows you all the kind of specs that you've made for your bag as well as the little mock-up. And that is that. So I mean, there have been a lot of speculation about why they've made these special order colors the way that they did this year. So they kind of offered less colors and they're very kind of leaning more towards less crazy and more neutral. Some people are saying it's to limit the amount of Franken bags that are out there. So I'm sure you guys have seen that, but there are some really crazy special orders out there, like crazy colors. So some people are saying that Hermes just want that to reflect their brand, and so they were limiting those kind of really vibrant out there colors for now to kind of make it so that the bags that are produced are just more on tone with what Hermes wants to be seen as. And then number two, which I kind of believe more, I don't know if I believe the first one, but number two I kind of believe is that because they're limiting these colors, they're going to be able to pump out the special orders faster. So I do know, I mean, I think a lot of people have heard stories that people are waiting a year, 2 years for their special order, but doing it this way, apparently maybe coming even in 6 months is a possibility to a year. And so maybe Hermes is just like so back ordered of these special orders that they need a break or something, or maybe they can more mass produce things because people are more likely to make a very similar bag to each other. Who really knows what it is? But the fact of the matter is that yes, this year not too many colors were offered and the colors weren't super cute or vibrant, but that's okay. I think it probably was still a season that a lot of people enjoyed. There were some very pretty colors still in there as well, and I'm definitely happy with the bag that I did end up making. So if my bag does come by the end of the year, which I really hope it does, I will pay $10,100 US. That is the current price of a Chef Mini Kelly. If I had done Epsom, I believe it would have costed $9,400. Chef is a little bit more expensive than Epsom. And again, when you make a special order, it's just going to cost the exact same price as a regular offer from the store. It doesn't cost any more to do a special order, and you pay at the time that you pick up your bag. So didn't pay anything to make the bag today. But to wrap it up, I am so grateful to have had this experience. It was so fun just, you know, customizing your own bag. This is your dream bag, and this is definitely going to be a bag that I will want to wear every single day of my life because it is a bag that's really unique to me. I hope that this information was helpful to you, and please leave any questions or comments down below. I will try to answer all of them. If you're curious about these boxes behind me, I will be doing a little unboxing in the next video probably, so definitely make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that one. But that is all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will definitely see you in the next one. Bye guys!